Hey, sweet listeners, you just tuned in to the NetSuite podcast. I'm your host, Kendall Fisher, and our guest on this episode is Lisa Schwarz, Senior Director of Product Marketing here at Oracle NetSuite. Lisa has a long history working in marketing and e-commerce, which she'll dive into, including how it's impacting her current role heading up product marketing right now. She also discusses NetSuite's product development goals, how they impact customers, and why NetSuite's biannual upgrades are different, more efficient, and therefore more beneficial than any other companies. On the topic of updates, Lisa will also cover everything customers can expect from the current 2019.2 release, one of NetSuite's biggest rollouts to date. Very exciting stuff, so be sure to stay tuned after this.
You're listening to the NetSuite podcast, where we discuss what's happening within NetSuite, why we're doing it, and where we're heading in the future. We'll dive into the details about the software and the people at NetSuite who are behind all the moving parts. We'll also feature customer growth stories, discussing the ups and downs of running a company and how one integrated system can help your business continue to scale.
Before we get into this interview about our 2019.2 release, here's a word from our sponsors over at Hint. If you don't know about Hint yet, their brand is all about making the everyday more enjoyable. It started when Kara Golden, Hint's founder, needed a way to drink more water, but wanted flavor without all those sugars and sweeteners that come in most drinks. So she created Hint Water. It has just a hint of flavor from real fruit essences, without any of those added sugars or sweeteners. Everyone at the NetSuite office is a huge fan of Hint waters. We even stock them in our corporate fridges. But why don't you go check them out for yourself? Go to hint.co/welcome to get 30% off your first purchase right now. Hi, Lisa. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the NetSuite podcast.
Hey, Kendall.
How's it going?
Pretty good, thanks.
Good. So I told our listeners about this in the introduction to this podcast, but you are NetSuite's Senior Director of Product Marketing as of this year. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
So can you actually break down what that title means for starters?
Yeah, so we'll be responsible for, a lot of the traditional type of product marketing activities that you'll see in any organization. So from product positioning, defining target markets, pretty bread and butter type of things. Mm-hmm. But where I'm really going to make an emphasis for my team is really creating content that communicates the unique value and benefits that the NetSuite solutions provide to our customers.
Mm-hmm. And, other than making that an internal goal, what would you hope that this brings our customers externally?
Yeah, so I really would like to tell stories on how our products enable these amazing things, from growth to optimizing your business processes to providing customer experiences to your external customers.
Right.
So not just about the standard speeds and feeds of product features. We all hear about that morning, noon, and night, but let's really get those golden nuggets and extract the stories to make people really want to learn and understand how we can help with your business.
And you certainly have the experience to do that. One of our own colleagues, Ranga Bodla, who's been on the podcast before talking about family business, if you listeners want to go check it out. But he said one of his favorite things about you is that you're always asking, well, so what? The why. And that storytelling is a big part of that, especially with your background in commerce. Can you actually take us through your career history a little bit and how it led to this current role now in product marketing?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, good old Ranga.
Thanks for that, Ranga, by the way.
Right. Yeah, so I guess probably where thing with my career is probably more relevant is when kind of early on I started in a sales role selling at that time high-tech color printers.
Wow.
Yeah, high-end, really. So here in the Valley. And, I was having fun with it, kind of learning the ropes. I was actually meeting my quota and goals and stuff. So I felt like I was kind of rocking it.
Of course, as you should.
Right. But as I kind of got more into things, I really noticed a gap that I needed more marketing type of tools, whether it be, traditional type of data sheets or, a little bit more compelling messaging or presentations or even events. I just wasn't getting that support from corporate. So like any, sales rep with some motivation will do, I went and created my own messaging, my own collateral. And after a little while, some of the other reps in the office started to take notice of this and like, hey, can you help us out here on this? And slowly but surely after doing that, I kind of realized I like this marketing stuff a little bit more than selling. So I made it a priority to transition to a new career. And fortunately, I was able to find a really cool marketing position over at Sun Microsystems. So there I spent a bunch of years, 10 plus years in various marketing roles, starting with field marketing, a stint in product server marketing. I did a lot of international marketing. They sent me over to like South Africa to start our office there and spin up the marketing division.
How cool.
Yeah, it was a great 6 months. And also running Latin America marketing. So kind of got a lot of international experience there. And then kind of took a little pivot within Sun and went over to the online world of e-commerce. So for a couple of years, responsible for our e-commerce properties. We had several of them at the time. Not only marketing, so running promotions, merchandising, but then the whole operations of like having teams load content onto the store, things like that. So really got that e-commerce experience, exposure there of living and breathing online sales. And, I was able to draw some of my sales background from that, as well as then my marketing experience. And that was actually a pretty cool combination in that role.
Yeah, definitely.
As we know, Oracle acquired Sun after a while, and I came over in the transition to help with that, and then left after a little bit over to NetSuite. That's how I landed in NetSuite. They relaunched it, new architecture, next gen, and I was brought on shortly after that. Really, what they were looking at was to get that e-commerce manager type of experience to, I was living and breathing the hairball that NetSuite talks about of managing 4 or 5 different e-commerce platforms, my ERP system, my pricing system, all those things of like just daily basis of interacting with IT, making sure we're up and running, all that, stuff that we talk about of what NetSuite eliminates.
Yeah.
So I was able to bring that experience to help craft some really great go-to-market, compelling strategies for that as we re-entered this market for us.
Wow, what an interesting, I did not know all of that about you, Lisa. And I feel like we worked together, I think almost from like the first couple of weeks I was at NetSuite. So that is really cool. How would you say this history is beneficial to NetSuite's product marketing strategy right now?
Well, kind of to the point, I think I bring that unique experience in that from the commerce side, the customer is always looking for how do I deliver a great customer experience for my customer's customer. So what's that end experience? So I am looking at things a little bit differently, that it's not just, this new WYSIWYG accounting feature and it saves a lot of time, but really let's get to the meat of it of why should I care about it? How is it really going to help?
Right.
So with this new role in product marketing, I'm looking after the entire suite, which is a bit daunting.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Because the suite is so totally deep and broad. So being in the commerce world for the last 7 years or so, really having to learn about a lot of the core details. And the commerce side definitely brought out the back end story because we have all that back end data feeding our front end commerce systems, which enable those great experiences, but never to the level that I am experiencing now.
Yeah, right. It's all very exciting stuff. And in fact, what we said this podcast would be all about, we're rolling out our 2019.2 release currently, which we'll get into, but I really want to touch on how NetSuite actually delivers these new releases to our customers. We've never talked about that on the podcast before, and I figure what better way than to start with you, Lisa. So can you explain our rollout process for releases a little bit?
Definitely. It is quite the process. The saying goes, it takes a village.
Yeah.
Literally a global village of hundreds of people in the company. And I've been amazed and awed of just, coming up to speed and learning about this. But for those customers and, prospects who don't know know about it, let's spend a little time and go a bit deep on that. So NetSuite releases 2 updates a year in Q1 and in Q3, and each of those releases bring new features and enhancements to our entire install base. So we're about starting the second release of this year, which again, all 18,000 customers will receive these updates. So everyone is on the same release. They're using the same latest and greatest functionality. No one gets left behind. Everyone is in the pool.
What do you think is the importance of that?
Well, internally, it allows NetSuite to focus, to really say, okay, all our efforts are on this one effort. So we are delivering and maxing our resources to deliver all the innovations that we can to our customers. We don't have to worry about compatibility of back issues and bringing older revs up front or the compatibility thing. So I think it really enables the teams to deliver all the innovation that they can. And then our customers can all take advantage of all of that at the same time, too. So it's a great benefit and super cool, I find.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And no one else really does that. So what else comes with these releases?
The release is phased over several months. So each customer is assigned to a release phase. During the phasing, customers can request access to a free release preview environment, which is a replica, mirror of their current production environment, where they can test all the new features and functionalities with their own data set, their customizations, and their workflow. So there are no surprises. You go in, play around, and hey, if you find something that's not working as expected, you log a service support ticket and work with the team to address those issues so that you're feeling comfortable when your update date comes around.
Got it. Oh yeah, that's really great.
So another thing to emphasize, customizations come over. So you don't have to worry about reinstalling customizations or rebuilding your customizations. They are automatically coming over. So as we've always said, customizations are not a dirty word. Most of our customers have them, some more than others, which is totally great. And this is just a peace of mind that no rework has to be done. Everything comes over.
Amazing.
Yeah. So on the day of when your upgrade happens, accounts will go offline. We schedule for about a 2-hour period for things to go offline. But actually our track record, the last few releases, we've brought that down to 30 minutes or less of doing upgrades.
Wow, that's impressive.
It totally is. The release teams are just constantly working on fine-tuning processes to really minimize the downtime and disruption to our customer environments.
Right.
So kudos to that team.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. So like I mentioned, we're kind of in the middle of the release phasing for this current release, but some of you still haven't approached that time yet. So if you haven't and you're not aware of when your release date is, or when your preview environment becomes available, go onto your NetSuite dashboard, and I'm sure you've seen the new release portlet. You kind of can't miss it. There's a big picture and it says release 2019.2.
Okay.
And there it gives the time frame of when your release preview environment is available and then the actual date of your update. So that gives you some information there. And then there's a slew of resources available for you to take advantage of.
Wonderful. I can provide a few links into the description of this podcast episode for anything that they may need on release information and resources.
That would be super helpful.
Which American company started with a guy in a garage, was featured on Shark Tank, and now has over 1 million customers? Hint, they're reducing crime in neighborhoods everywhere. Here's Ring Video Doorbell founder Jamie Siminoff with his secret to success.
It's true. In just a few years, we've had huge growth. We've hired hundreds of people, expanded our warehouse, and we're shipping millions of units a year, all while making sure our customers are happy. I've had lots of things to worry about, but I never worry about our finance and accounting because we use NetSuite from Oracle. From the beginning, NetSuite let me see what's going on with my business in real time, from revenues to expenses, customers and orders, even HR. I run my business from a dashboard right on my phone. NetSuite has been my business management system from 10 to a team of over 1,000. And NetSuite will be my choice as we continue to innovate and grow.
Go to netsuite.com/ring to see how Jamie scaled his business. You'll also get our free guide titled Overcoming Your 5 Obstacles to Growth. That's netsuite.com/ring for your free guide and the story of a great American company. netsuite.com/ring.
So just while we're on the release topic, have a little quick trivia game for you on releases.
Oh, you know I love me some trivia. Bring it. I
right.
can't wait.
Here it goes. So, on average, there are over 200 features included in a release, with about 60 of them being customer-facing.
Oh my gosh.
All
wow.
right?
Okay.
For this release, for 2019.2, how many features do you think are included in the release?
I'll go a little lower. I don't know why. 178.
Well, we have some super overachievers on our development teams. There are 265 features in the release,
Whoa.
with 65 of them being new customer-facing features and enhancements.
Wow. So we went over our average,
Yeah,
actually. Good for
totally.
us. Awesome.
And another kind of interesting tidbit, which really excites me, is that 79 of those enhancements came from customer requests.
Wow.
So they, interacted with their account manager, or maybe they're a member of our customer advisory board, or through user groups where they are saying, hey, NetSuite, this would be really great if, we could do X, Y, Z. And you know what? We listen and we take that feedback. And now, we've got 79 of those enhancements are coming from those customers with this release.
Wow. I mean, with 18,000 customers across so many different regions and areas, that actually makes sense because a lot of them have probably seen similar things and felt similar things. And now we're helping, more customers in the future with these new additions. So that is very cool. I love that. Okay, so let's dive into some of those. What's new with 2019.2?
Where do you start?
I know.
Right. But kind of, just to level set the playing field, with every release, we have core financial enhancements, as well as a bunch of horizontal module enhancements for things like commerce or HR, which are used across multiple industries. So we've always got a bunch of those. And then we have a bunch of new features and enhancements that are really specific for industries. So, through the last several years, we've really been building out our feature set that are unique for industries. So we're continuing to see a lot of that focus.
Very cool. And we'll be talking on this podcast episode with several people that are part of these new initiatives and new enhancements. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Can you, Lisa, elaborate on key capabilities to support operations around the world?
Yeah. So on the operational side, it's about how do we help businesses optimize their operations, with their day-to-day activities. So we've got things like improvements to make it easier to manage multiple subsidiaries. There's a new banking data import feature, which reduces the manual bank reconciliation processes. And last but not least, there's an enhancement that provides more flexible and granular rule-based revenue accounting capabilities.
Wow.
All, making people more productive, cutting time down, streamlining processes. So really optimizing the operations.
Of course. What about for product-based industries?
So, again, product-based industries, like retailers, manufacturers, and distributors are faced with a host of challenges, ranging from inventory and warehouse management to delivering these great brand experiences to delight their customers. So some of the features included in this release are things like phase 1 of our supply chain control tower.
Yes, I know. We talked to Paul Farrell about that. Keep an eye out for that podcast coming up.
Who doesn't need a control tower, in their business?
Exactly.
So phase 1 of this release with the new dashboard. So a lot of great things happening there to really provide a single view of the state of your supply chain. So we'll be going deep on that with Paul soon. Another phase 1 product we've got is the new allocation and commitment engine. So that makes it easier to manage and optimize inventory allocations across your business. So again, just, all about the inventory. Our users of warehouse management, we've really got a whole host of enhancements for that module. So things like a new order release process and support for single and multi-order picking as well as paperless picking. And then, but wait, there's more.
Oh, whoa, ...
Right. The WMS mobile app has been completely re-architected. So it provides better performance, scalability, and usability. And for international users, it's been translated to all the NetSuite supported languages, so right out of the box.
Wow.
So lots of bang there for
definitely.
warehouse management.
Definitely.
And then on the commerce side, we've got, near and dear to my heart.
Of course, as we've learned.
We've got some new capabilities for e-commerce sites. So some new Suite Commerce extensions that are available for download free of charge on the Suite app site. So you can take these extensions, plug them into your e-commerce site, and you've got some really cool, nifty functionality that you can install pretty much by yourself to extend capabilities. We've got a new capability to personalize catalog views so that merchants can provide an online catalog that's curated with a set of products unique to a customer set, a segmented set of customers. So really getting that personalization in there. And then last but not least, on merchandising hierarchy, we've got some new enhancements that make it easier to set up item merchandise attributes. And then we also extended the type of item types that are supported with merchandising hierarchy, like non-inventory and kits. So this opens up the functionality to distributors or manufacturers who tend to use that type of item types.
A lot going on there. Sheesh. We are going above average this year, though. So or this release. So I get it. We still have one more. What about service-based industries?
There's lots of good things happening over for service-based industries.
Yeah.
They're all about project planning, budgeting, and billing. So for those areas, we've got a bunch of cool things. On project planning, we've got some items, some highlights that include a new project work back schedule feature, which provides a new scheduling method that lets users schedule project phases working from back-end dates backwards.
Oh, wow.
So if you have a hard deadline date for your project, you can work backwards versus getting all confused with with things. So that really speeds up the planning on that side. We've also got a new project resource utilization feature, which makes utilization planning more accurate and easier to manage. For project budgeting, there's a major enhancements to the NetSuite project budgeting feature and how we've been simplifying and improving budgeting accuracy. So this new advanced project budgets capability allows all the budgeting to happen in a single place now. So lots of details on that one. We may want to do a separate podcast on that.
Yeah, definitely.
To really get into the guts and glory on that. But that is a major enhancement to spend time on. And then on the billing, we have enhancements to our billing rate card. So that will improve, billing transparency, efficiency, and accuracy.
Yeah.
So kind of hitting some highlights there.
We just went over so much, and I don't blame listeners if they're like, wait a second. Hold up, I'm going to need to rewind this to re-listen to take notes of everything that's changing. Instead, how can our listeners and customers learn more about these capabilities?
Yeah, so we have, taken that into account. That's a lot of information to consume. So a bunch of options. If you're not aware, we have the sneak peek blogs. So we've got about 9 of them out currently, which are take an industry cut on all the new features. So what features and enhancements apply to a specific industry.
Okay.
So that's where we go into a lot of details that you can catch up there. As you mentioned, we'll be doing some more podcasts on a couple of these topics. So going deep on the supply chain control tower, Suite Analytics, I believe, is another topic up for bat, which again is like really hot these days.
Yes,
so
definitely.
That will be a good one to tune into. And then there'll also be some industry-specific webinars that our industry marketing team will be recording, and those will be distributed out by your account managers. So those will be on demand and will be coming soon to an inbox near you.
So keep a lookout.
Yeah. And then finally, as I referenced before, this new release portlet that's on your NetSuite dashboard, that has the links to the sneak peek blogs, release notes. I mean, if you want to go really, really deep into the details of how all these functionality new things work, the release notes is your place to go. Get a good your favorite beverage, curl up
maybe
in a
not,
chair.
Yeah, maybe not by the fire right now because it's still really hot. Well,
Right.
maybe not where you are. I don't know. We could have New Zealand listeners right now where it's actually wintertime. But yeah,
There you go. Yeah. So
curl up on a chair in the sun or by the fire, whatever your choice is.
and get those release notes out and take it in. And then last, there's a bunch of related training videos on the portlet provided by Sweet Answers. So on a couple of new features and enhancements that you'll also see. Tons of resources to learn more.
Yeah, you touched on this, but would the preview environment be the best thing if customers want to try out these new features for this release?
Totally. As kind of the saying goes here at NetSuite, it's test drive before you go live.
There you go. Well, on that note, Lisa, I really appreciate you giving us all a preview of what's to come for this release. I'll provide some of those links, as I said, in the description of this podcast episode. And I'm sure you'll be on soon to talk more in the future.
Yeah, thanks, Kendall. You know, the new 2020.1 is just around the corner. So
yeah, exactly.
Can't wait.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you.
Test drive before you go live. I like that. And if you're interested in doing so, we've left a link in the description of this podcast episode to help you learn more about the 2019.2 release. Thank you so much to Lisa Schwarz for joining us on this episode of the NetSuite podcast. I also want to shout out to everyone who made it possible, our sponsors over at Hint and Ring, as well as our editing crew over at Lampstand, and all you listeners for tuning in. Don't forget, rate, review, and subscribe. Bye-bye.
You just listened to the NetSuite podcast. Be sure to tune in every week with more NetSuite developments, stories, and insights into the benefits of one integrated system to help you run your business.